Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the ACSI converted Hager BB1168 4.5 by 4 4-wire or 1104 2060 hinge. So this is a BB1168 4.5 by 4 from Hager. This video is not really going to go into the Hager portion of what this is, but it's 4.5 tall, it's 4 wide. It is ultra important to understand what a BB1168 4.5 by 4 is, to be sure that you're ordering it correct. Back when I was just a young whippersnapper, I thought that the hinge size, width, and height ran the same ways that doors run, and I learned the hard way that the first dimension on a hinge is not the width, it's the height. So a hinge like this that is 4.5 by 4 is important to know that it's the height first. If it's 4.5 by 4.5, 5 by 5, whatever, doesn't so much matter. But when you deal with a wide throw, like a 4.5 by 7, or a narrow hinge, nothing unusual about this. But when you are dealing with a hinge that's rectangular, first dimension is the height. This is an 1168, a BB1168, so that means it's heavyweight. In a 4.5 inch, this will be 180 thousandths of an inch thick. It'll have 4 bearing packets, and because it's an 1168, it's made of steel, and the 2060 would be better called 652. That would tell us it's a steel-based material as well, but it means it's satin chrome. Now, this is a 4-wire hinge, which is very typical and common. You're going to have, and they're tied off here at the end. They are, and the hinge is UL rated, by the way, rated for 3.5 amp and a 16 amp inrush, or I believe they call it pulse. The gauge of the wires, I'm going to tell you what that is so that you know, because it's important to know what it is. Okay, there is a 22 gauge is the answer to what I was looking up. It should be listed there, but it's not, unfortunately. It is referred to, of course, in the full line catalog that you can review. I'll ultimately point that out to where you can review that. So it's a 4-wire. Obviously, you're going to probably be, only most commonly, probably be passing wire through, power through 2 of the wires. If you are electrifying an exit device or a lock set or an electric strike, would be very common as well. There is a link below this video to a document called Template that will allow you to review the dimensional properties of the hinge and give you the location of where you need to drill the holes in the door and in the frame to account for the fitting of the wires that are done here, okay? And literally what's occurred here is that there is a hole that's been drilled in the leaf on both sides, and the race of the wires has been done in and up through that knuckle, down through the other access point for that hinge. Okay. Now there are possibilities of modifications that can be done sometimes with thicker wire. There could be a very valid reason why you might need to have more electrical capacity through the diameter or the gauge of the wires. That can be done. ACSI is a company that really is best known for modifying other people's equipment to provide an electrical capability to an otherwise non-electrified piece of hardware. But they, of course, have a comprehensive offering of their own branded material as well that will get into things like keypads and push switches, switches that can be installed onto doors to communicate back to a panel that will notify someone that the door has been opened or closed. There's also power supplies that they get into. But this hinge, the fact that it's 4.5 by 4, it's very possibly going onto an aluminum storefront door, only because you will find a 4-inch wide on a 4.5-inch tall hinge. That's not uncommon. but not unheard of on hollow metal either. So this is obviously going to be powering something that is like an electric strike or the panic device or the lock set. Okay. Now there is finally a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can view not only all of the ACSI products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website as well as a link to the full product catalog. The full product catalog will allow you to review not only obviously their entire product line, but you'll see in the initial pages, because electrifying hinges is so much what ACSI is known for, you'll find the summary of their 1100 series modifications, which is an 1104, it's a 4-wire. Yes, if it was an 1108, it'd be an 8-wire sort of scenario. Okay, there are also a conversion chart that's there, so you understand that an 1104 from ACSI is an ETW-4 from Hager, and so on. Obviously, a how-to order matrix for you to follow when placing an order for the material. I'm partial to ACSI when it comes to electrifying hardware because they're a relatively smaller company, I believe, meaning that every time that I've called there, they seem to be quite nimble, quite capable of being able to tell you, yes, we can do that. Send the order in, we'll have it out in X days. Very easy to talk to, easy to get answers out of. So that's always been my experience with them. Screws are going to be included, you know, your typical 12 by 1.5 flathead wood screw, or, well, these are sheet metal screws, but you'll have your machine screws in there as well in a complementary finish. If you have any questions on the ACSI BB1168 and a 4.5 by 4 1104 satin chrome 4-wire electrified hinge, or any other ACSI product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.